If keto is supposed to reduce cravings, why do some people feel hungrier than ever? Usually it's not lack of willpower. It's a few predictable mistakes that quietly push your appetite up. Hunger is controlled by signals: blood sugar swings, stress hormones, salt balance, and how full your stomach feels. Keto changes all of those fast. So if one piece is off, you can end up snacking all day while still thinking you're doing everything right. In this breakdown, you'll get 7 common keto mistakes that make hunger worse, plus simple fixes that keep keto feeling calm and sustainable. No weird hacks, just the basics that actually move the needle. Start by thinking of hunger in 2 buckets. One is true energy hunger. Your body needs fuel. The other is signal hunger. Your body is reacting to gaps in electrolytes, protein, sleep, or meal structure. Moving to slide 2. Mistake 1 is treating keto like a fat-only diet and letting protein drift too low. Protein is the most filling macronutrient for many people. It supports lean mass, and it triggers satiety signals that tell your brain, we're good. When protein is low, you can eat a lot of fat calories and still feel like something is missing. That often shows up as constant grazing or intense cravings for crunchy or savory foods. A practical fix is to anchor meals around a clear protein portion first, then add fat to satisfaction. Think of fat as the dial you adjust, not the foundation you forget. Many people also do better spreading protein across the day, instead of saving it all for dinner. If you're hungry on keto, check protein before you blame carbs. It's one of the fastest appetite wins. Moving to slide 3. Mistake 2 is skipping electrolytes, especially sodium, then confusing the symptoms with hunger. When you cut carbs, your body sheds water and salt. That's normal. But if sodium drops too far, you can feel weak, headachy, restless, and oddly snacky. Your brain sometimes interprets that as eat something because food often comes with salt. The fix is not complicated, but it has to be intentional. Many people do better adding salt to meals, using broth, or choosing naturally salty foods, especially early on. Potassium and magnesium can matter too, but sodium is usually the first missing piece. If you notice hunger that comes with fatigue or lightheadedness, pause and consider electrolytes before you reach for another keto treat. Appetite can calm down quickly when fluids and minerals are back in balance. Moving to slide 4. Mistake 3 is going too low on calories too soon. Keto can reduce appetite for some people, but that doesn't mean your body suddenly needs far less energy. If you slash portions aggressively, you may get a short burst of motivation, then a rebound of intense hunger. That rebound often hits at night when decision-making is tired. A better approach is to let keto do its job gradually. Build satisfying meals with enough protein, enough non-starchy vegetables, and enough fat to feel done. If you're tracking, watch for patterns like fine all day, ravenous after dinner. That can be a sign you're under-eating earlier. Hunger is not a moral failure, it's feedback. If your plan creates constant hunger, it's usually not sustainable, and it can lead to overeating later. Moving to slide 5. Mistake 4 is relying on keto snacks and ultra-processed low-carb foods as your main strategy. Even when carbs are low, hyper-palatable foods can keep your appetite switched on. They're engineered to be easy to eat fast, and they often don't create the same fullness as a real meal. Another issue is that many keto products use sweeteners and flavor systems that keep your brain expecting more reward. For some people, that keeps cravings alive, even if blood sugar stays fairly stable. The fix is to make most of your intake real, simple foods and treat packaged keto items as occasional tools, not daily staples. If you want a snack, choose something that ends the hunger, like a protein-forward option or a small meal. Your goal is fewer food decisions, not more. Moving to slide 6. Mistake 5 is going too low on fiber and volume. Keto can accidentally become tiny meals, especially if vegetables disappear and everything turns into cheese, oils, and nuts. The problem is mechanical. Your stomach has stretch receptors, and volume matters for fullness. Fiber also slows digestion and supports a steadier appetite curve. You don't need high-carb foods to get those benefits. Non-starchy vegetables, chia, flax, and certain low-carb berries can add bulk and fiber while keeping carbs controlled. A simple test is this. If your plate looks small and you finish it in 5 minutes, hunger is more likely to return quickly. Build meals that feel like meals. Add a base of leafy greens or crunchy vegetables, then protein, then fat. That order alone helps many people feel satisfied longer. Moving to slide 7. Mistake 6 is hidden carbs and carb creep. This is one of the most frustrating ones because you can be trying hard and still get knocked out of a steady rhythm. The usual suspects are sauces, dressings, flavored yogurts, coffee add-ins, and large portions of nuts. When carbs creep up, some people get more blood sugar variability, and that can bring back hunger and cravings. The fix is awareness, not obsession. For a week, simplify your meals and reduce variables. Choose plain proteins, simple vegetables, and straightforward fats. Read labels on the few packaged items you keep. Also watch portion sizes of calorie-dense foods like nuts and nut butters, because they're easy to overeat and they can displace more filling foods. Consistency beats perfection here. Moving to slide 8. Mistake 7 is poor sleep and high stress, then expecting diet rules to overpower biology. When sleep is short or fragmented, appetite often rises. People tend to feel less satisfied after meals, and cravings get louder. Stress can do something similar, partly through hormones that push you toward quick energy and comfort foods. Keto doesn't cancel that out. The fix is to treat sleep as part of the plan, not a bonus. Set a consistent wind-down routine, reduce late caffeine, and keep your last meal timing predictable. If stress is high, even a short daily walk can help regulate appetite signals for many people. Also be careful with intense fasting when you're already stressed. For some, it works. For others, it backfires and increases hunger later. Your best keto is the one that fits your nervous system. Moving to slide 9. Now let's tie these 7 mistakes into a quick self-check you can actually use. If you're hungry on keto, first ask, is this body fuel hunger or signal hunger? If you feel shaky, headachy, or foggy, think electrolytes and undereating. If you feel an empty stomach soon after meals, think protein and fiber. If cravings are very specific, sweet, salty, crunchy, look at ultra-processed keto snacks and hidden carbs. And if hunger is worst after a bad night of sleep, don't overcorrect with extreme restriction. Instead, stabilize your next day with a solid breakfast or lunch and keep dinner simple. The goal is to remove the friction that keeps appetite loud. Most people don't need a perfect macro ratio. They need a repeatable structure. Protein-anchored meals, enough volume, enough salt, and fewer trigger foods. Moving to slide 10. Let's make this practical with a simple keto plate template that reduces hunger without complicated math. Start with a protein anchor, something you can identify as the main item. Next, add a large portion of non-starchy vegetables for volume and fiber. Then add fat as a finishing ingredient, not the main event. That could be olive oil, butter, avocado, or a creamy sauce you control. Finally, add salt to taste, especially if you're early in keto or you sweat a lot. If you do those 4 steps, many people find their cravings drop because meals finally feel complete. This template also makes it easier to spot what's missing. If you're hungry, you can ask, did I skip protein? Did I skip vegetables? Did I avoid salt? That's a better question than, should I just eat more fat? Moving to slide 11. One more hunger trap is liquid calories and fat drinks. Coffee with lots of added fat can be convenient, but for many people it doesn't create the same satiety as chewing real food. Liquids empty from the stomach faster, and it's easy to overshoot calories without feeling full. The same goes for constant sipping on cream, flavored drinks, or frequent keto smoothies. If you love your coffee ritual, keep it, but consider separating beverages from your main hunger management. Use drinks to support hydration, not to replace meals unless you know it truly satisfies you. A good rule is to notice what happens 2 hours later. If a drink-based breakfast leads to mid-morning snacking, that's useful data. Switching to a protein-based meal often fixes that quickly. Keto works better when your calories come in clear, satisfying meals. Moving to slide 12. Let's talk about meal timing and fasting, because it can either calm hunger or amplify it. Some people feel great with fewer meals on keto. Others get stuck in a cycle. They fast hard, then they get overly hungry, then they overeat foods that don't satisfy, and the next day they try to make up for it. If that's you, The fix is to stabilize first, then experiment. Start with 2 or 3 structured meals, no grazing. Keep protein consistent. Keep vegetables consistent. Then, if hunger is calm, you can test a smaller eating window. The key is that fasting should feel like a quiet appetite, not a white-knuckle battle. Also remember that training days, high-stress periods, and poor sleep can change what your body tolerates. Flexibility is not failure. Moving to slide 13. If you want a clean reset, here's a simple 3-day approach that often lowers hunger without changing your entire life. Keep meals boring on purpose. Pick 2 proteins you like, 2 vegetables you tolerate, and 1 or 2 fats. Salt your food. Drink water. Skip sweet-tasting keto products for those 3 days. Keep nuts and cheese portions modest, because they're easy to overdo. The goal is not punishment, it's clarity. After 3 days, your hunger signals are easier to read. If you're still hungry, it's more likely you need more protein, more volume, or more total food. If hunger improves, you've identified that your previous plan had too many variables: hidden carbs, snack foods, or liquid calories. This kind of reset also helps you rebuild confidence, because it replaces guessing with a simple process you can repeat anytime appetite gets noisy. Moving to slide 14. Let's wrap it up. Keto usually makes you less hungry when the fundamentals are right. But if you're hungrier, it's often one of these: protein too low, electrolytes too low, calories cut too hard, too many keto snack foods, not enough fiber and volume, hidden carbs, or sleep and stress pushing appetite up. The good news is that you don't have to fix everything at once. Pick the most likely culprit and run a simple test for a week. If I had to choose one starting point, it would be protein plus vegetables at every main meal, with salt handled intentionally. That combination solves a surprising amount. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. And for a quick check-in, comment with your biggest hunger trigger on keto. A. Cravings at night, or B. Cravings in the afternoon. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Fix the metabolism, not just the symptoms.